heard of
I've
something.
never heard of such a thing. Well,
I mean,
I like
I'm coming back as Sarah Fraser in my next live, people. I mean, now let's get into it. Guys, we have a special show today.
I love this. I'm so excited. Okay.
We are counting down for all of you. Now, this is something I did on Patreon a long time ago. I did this only on Patreon. Then the Patreon took a turn for a lot of turns here. But we're going to share it with everyone. This is not for Patreon. This is our top 10 housewives of the year. How excited is everyone to hear? Now, I would like to say something before we start.
Okay.
I want to explain what my list is based on, and you could explain, because I want to, for me, I made my list. It doesn't matter if I like you. There are people on this list I don't love. Okay. There are people on this list. This is nothing personal. My emotions are out of it. I mean, this is truly who I think either they had a great year for them overall with the franchise or just personally, or just somebody who made some baller moves. So either you had a great year from where I'm looking, or you made baller moves. This is my best of list. That's how I just determine my best of. Now, how did you come up with yours?
I basically did the exact same thing. And just for everyone to know, I did past and present housewives, because some of the housewives from the past have popped up or had good years in 2023 or had terrible years. So this is from the entire franchise, as you mentioned. And I basically graded it on that same thing. A couple of them have personal connections to us. So I did include them in some degree, but basically I feel like baller moves. They made baller moves on the show in their personal lives. And I'm fan favorites. Yep. I agree.
So before we start, I just want to say, unfortunately, I couldn't come up with 10. So I have one honorable mention before we start.
Okay.
Guys, we took this seriously. I went to every Wikipedia page and saw let's not forget anyone. So I looked at everyone that was happening. So my honorable mention did not make the top 10, but almost did, is Miss Sutton Strack. I mean,
she's having a year,
right? Like, let's just look back. She was a friend of, because her husband wouldn't let, you don't mess up $300,000 after taxes and alimony. So she couldn't be a full-time housewife the first season because her kids wouldn't be on it. She got herself on without showing her family, upgraded from friend of to full-time. It's so hard. And we forget, Sutton to me is a great housewife. She fades in the background. When she fades, don't take over the show, people, because you'll get fired. Hello, Dorinda. And when she has something to say, she says it. She's entertaining. Is she a drunk? Well, that's a whole nother conversation that we have to have at some point.
They're certainly portraying her that way. Right? Yeah. Very much this season.
Right. And she's come out that she makes $300,000 after taxes. I mean, and we don't know her investment. She's buying horses, and she's not afraid to stick up to Kyle. So Sutton to me is honorable mention, almost made the top 10, but I had to just give her honorable mention, and she didn't make the top 10, but honorable mention, Sutton Strack, honorable mention.
Okay. All right.
And this is just for this year, guys. We're basing it just on 2023. So, Sarah, do you want to tell us who your number 10 is and why?
Okay, I don't know that you're going to like my list. I feel like
you're not going to love mine either, girlfriend.
I feel like it gets close to home. Number 10 for me is, for the best housewives of 2023, is Margaret Josephs, for a couple of reasons. First of all, she made somewhat nice with my dear friend David Yontef. Anyone who, comes around to Mr. Yontef, I enjoy. Now, did they have a moment in the Hamptons that was a bit dicey earlier this summer? They did. But Margaret Josephs, why she's on this list is she's a person, look, how she remains relevant and has a job, I think is noteworthy. Okay. She seems to stay. We were convinced that Gorga was gone, that Josephs was gone, or, the takedown of Margaret Josephs could still happen. But I think her marriage is intact and seems to be going strong. And she does seem to have relevancy and solidified her place in the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I think for that, she is playing the game somewhat well. Number 10 is Margaret for me.
I love it. Listen, Margaret is good in my book. I'm sorry to tell the tree huggers. The older you get, life gets gray, right? So, I don't need to have you're my friend, you'll never speak to again. I have nothing against Margaret. in this world at this point. We had a moment in the Hamptons. We have spoken since. I do not care to share the remnants of that phone conversation at this point. I think you guys know at this point, I don't give a fuck. If I don't like someone, I'm going to tell you. I really have nothing against Margaret. Her mother, we were friends. You know, the great start to your list, Sarah. Number 10 is Margaret Josephs. Number 10 for me, we have new housewives that come along every now and then, and we just know they're not going to make it. We just know. And then we have others where we're like, it's an instant home run. Now, this person is very controversial. A lot of you hate her, but she has come in with a bang. And the reason why number 10 for me is Monica Garcia from RHO SLC is because, right? She does. We are talking about this woman, her mother. She has a fake ties to the military. Did she fake that? Her divorce, how much alimony? She has bruises all over her. She says she fell down Angie Casaneva's steps, and Sean Trujillo, the husband, was here. He's like, she sat on her ass and slid down probably. We're talking about her. Now there's rumors she stole Lisa Barlow's $60,000 ears. She doesn't care. I think she loves the fact that we're all talking about her. I think she doesn't give a shit. I think that's what we want in a housewife. She doesn't care. She just wants that golden fame carrot. Someone recently said Monica and her mother are the best two actors on Bravo. They think the whole thing is staged. I just think the fact that we're so talking, and mind you, Angie Katzenevas is also in her first season permanently. We're not really talking about her. Monica came in with a bang. Monica Garcia is my number 10. Your Margaret's really good too.
I like that one. Okay, that's really good. Okay.
Tell me your number 9 and why.
Number 9 for me, actually, we're staying in Salt Lake, is Heather Gay. So Heather Gay, for me, is just so more because I appreciate that Heather really takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Okay, so this woman, we still have not resolved the black eye, although apparently we're going to find that out. This woman has been called inbred on TV. I also personally, as we have entered the era of Ozempic, y'all know I beat that dead horse, but I appreciate a woman that's real. You know, Heather, I think, is a real woman. She, you know, she seems confident in her body amongst women who I'm sure are doing Ozempic. And my own personal belief is Mary Cosby has a eating disorder. But anyway, she runs her own successful business. She's a single woman. She's gone up against the Mormon church, which cannot be easy to stay in Salt Lake and do that. So I feel like there's a subtleness with Heather Gay too. She doesn't seem as thirsty, and yet I think she had a pretty phenomenal year.
She's really funny. I mean, I swear to everyone, this is not a show that's all about Salt Lake, but number 9 for me, let's just keep it in Salt Lake. The woman who called her inbred, Miss Mary Cosby. I mean,
Mary.
Listen, I mean, I've said this, apparently the rules at Bravo don't apply. I mean, you don't go to the reunion and they need you so bad. Now, it is arguable whether this is sustainable, and that's the only reason why she's number 9. And Andy says, I don't know if this is sustainable. I would agree. But here is a woman who basically was fired because she broke the rules and didn't come to the reunion. Now she's hired back. And I mean, you guys don't realize, like, there is a call sheet. Like, you have to show up. You have to film. You have to do things if you want to be a housewife. I don't know what Mary said when they said, please, on bended knees, come back. And she said, I'll come back, but I'll only do what I want to do.